Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Ronan Time HD. So yeah, this is going to be a great time. Hello there, and welcome back to Ticket Tuesday, Sunday edition. This week we watched a classic, Episode 3, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, 20th anniversary. And this film, just to say it quick, it is hokey, it is cheesy, it is stupid, it is dumb, but in every way it is a classic and I love it. But before I go on a whole tangent about why I love this film, I'll tell you why I love this film and more. Back at the house.
Done this.
Twisted by the dark side, young Skywalker has become.
I feel so helpless.
You were the chosen one!
Hey guys, and welcome back to an episode of Ticket Tuesday, Sunday edition. I'm your host, Rodent Time HD, and this week we watched a classic Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, for its 20th anniversary, which is kind of crazy to think about. I wasn't even born yet, which I think you could probably already tell. But this movie is very I'm just gonna jump right in. This film is starring, Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, Ian McDermott, Sam Jackson, Frank Oz. I think I got all of them. Sorry if I missed anybody. But with that being said, those are all. And of course, the legendary, love him or hate him, written and directed by George Lucas. And yes, you can tell that it was written and directed by George Lucas. But this movie is a classic, right? With it being the best film out of the prequel trilogy, I will say that this film is very enjoyable, right? The writing is very strange. The delivery is so weird, right? Like, there is just, like, certain line reads from these, like, these great actors, right? Like, pretty much everybody in this movie is a fantastic actor. But, like, you can tell that the only ones who, like, it's, like, I feel like now they enjoy Star Wars more, but back then it feels like they didn't even want to be there, right, by their delivery. Because, like, the only ones who were actually, like, kind of expressing were Ewan McGregor and Ian McDermott. Ian McDermott was having a fucking riot during this movie. He was having a grand old time. He was, like, making weird-ass faces and, like, making weird noises. He was, like, really funny because he was just so into the character, I guess. He really likes playing Emperor Palpatine. But Ewan McGregor, obviously everybody praises Ewan McGregor in this movie. He embodies a young Alec Guinness in this film. Because in a movie where you just have these stilted, weird, like, romantic scenes between Anakin and Padme, just super awkward, Ewan McGregor just steals the show. In a movie that's supposed to be about Anakin's journey into, like, his descent into Darth Vader, the movie, like, is just he's just overshadowed completely by Ewan McGregor. No disrespect to Hayden Christensen, right? He's a great actor. It's just, he was in a movie directed by George Lucas, and famously, he's a little strange. It's a bit of a strange technique, right? He's not great at either writing or directing, right? Does that mean that this movie is necessarily hard to watch, or is, like, the writing super bad? Not in my opinion. It is so weird, though. Because you can tell, like, as I said, this movie, the characters will just blatantly say how they're feeling. Like, there's no subtlety, like, subtext, there's none of that, right? They're just gonna say how they feel right then and there, right? Which, obviously, due to how awkward the acting is, they can't really express their emotions, so they just have to say it. I mean, Sam Jackson is a great actor, right? We all know this. But, like, in this movie, he's just, like, a Sith Lord. Like, he just says shit so weird, right? All these great actors. And, like, not even Ewan's safe, right? Because even he has some weird deliveries here and there. Like, at the end of the movie, he goes, Qui-Gon? I don't know how to explain it. You just kind of have to watch the movie if you haven't already, and you'll get what I mean. Like, I feel like there's so many line reads, and there's a reason this movie is a big meme, right? You know how I went on about how the Minecraft movie was the world's biggest shitpost, right? The most expensive shitpost in human history. This movie, while is not an intentional shitpost, because obviously the Minecraft movie, they just did whatever. They knew what they were doing. This one, like, you can tell George thought, like, his writing was, like, super deep and, like, super... I don't know what he thought, honestly. I remember, like, watching the behind, he's like, it comes together, it's like poetry. You know what I mean? He just fucking, like, I don't know. I can't hate George Lucas. I don't know why. It's like, whenever I see a picture of him, it's like a cryptid sighting, right? He's just, like, walking in the background of, like, another celebrity picture, right? He's just there. I love that. I've never seen a normal picture of George Lucas in my life. It's always, like, him in the background, like Bigfoot, right? And so, let's go back a second. This movie is very memeable, right? As you could tell from a couple years ago, there were, like, tons of Star Wars memes all over the place. And I'm not going to name them all here because that's... I probably don't remember them all, and honestly, you probably don't want to hear that because you probably already know them. But yeah, I think, obviously, it just adds a charm to this movie. Again, this movie has a lot of charm. While some may call the weird writing, weird directing, weird acting a bad thing, I think it's a compliment to the film, right? Because it's enjoyment, right? I feel like decades and decades down the line, people will still be watching this movie, right? Just like the original Star Wars movies. People still watch those movies, right? And they will continue to keep watching them because... I don't know if this makes sense, but they don't really feel like a product of their time. You know, they feel... I think the reason George wrote this movie the way he did, as a theory, is that he did it to make it seem timeless, right? So it doesn't fall under the traps that movies that came out around that time may have, right? And I can appreciate that. You know, obviously, it's still weird, but I can definitely say I don't think it will ever be outdated, right? Is the CGI a little strange? Maybe. Is some of it not aged that well? I mean, obviously, it's been 20 years, right? If you expect CGI from 20 years to, like, hold up to CGI, like, now, competent CGI, mind you, that's just a bit too high of an ask. But I will say, I really do appreciate that this film is just fun, right? It doesn't need to be I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I love this movie, right? I mean, I might have a bit of a bias, because when I was a kid, I was always more of a prequels guy, like, era-wise. I mean, obviously, I feel like the original trilogy has better movies than the prequels, but I will say, I always liked the prequel vibes more. I love the Clone Wars. I love clones, right? They're some of my favorite stuff from Star Wars. I just really like the specific stuff around the prequel era, you know? And I just have a lot of warm and fuzzies for this kind of stuff, right? I grew up on this stuff, so obviously I kind of look back on it with rose-tinted glasses, but it's just fun, you know? It's a fun movie, and I think that I don't really understand how somebody could hate it, though. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, yeah, the movie's, as I said before, time and time again, it's weird. But it's funny. I don't know how to say it. I just really enjoy it because, as I said, it's just brings me back to a time where I used to, like, just love Star Wars, like, religiously. You know what I mean? I was, like, love Star Wars. And I've kind of, maybe not fallen out of love with it. I've just kind of gotten disconnected from it. I'm sorry, there may be some good stuff coming out now, but I just have lots of nostalgia for this stuff. So maybe it's a bit of bias, maybe it's not, but I just really enjoy it. I really like the memeability of it. I really like there can be good line reads here and there. There can be a good scene, a good performance. There are, actually, Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman do have some good scenes together, while the scenes where they're just, like, really sappy, saying, like, I love you more than anything, like, it's just, they have a little too many of those scenes, honestly. Like, we get it. but also her dying, maybe they retconned it recently, I don't remember, but like the original of her like dying of heartbreak is really stupid. Right, like that's really stupid. I love this movie and I can't even defend that. Right, it's just dumb and not in a good way. There are some corny, cheesy stuff here and there, like when Padme, like, it's like this really like, I guarantee you George thought it was really profound, but it was just really cheesy, where like they're all cheering as the Emperor's like basically saying, I'm going to ruin everything, and everybody's cheering, and she goes, this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause. Right, and I'm like, it just makes you roll your eyes. Right, there are some quotes from this movie that just make you roll your eyes. Right, but again, that is the charm of the movie. So, one more thing. The score. Of course, I can't talk about any of the prequels without talking about their score. Old Johnny Williams, he killed it as per usual, right? Everybody talks about the soundtrack, the score to this film, and it is killer, right? He is like a legendary composer for a reason. Some of the scenes in this movie wouldn't be half as good without the killer soundtrack, right? If you take out the score, the movie's gutted, right? Like, not even, you remove like a quarter of the enjoyment of the movie, right? Because the final battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan, like the fucking, I don't even know. It's just killer, right? I'm not great with music analysis. It's just awesome. Some of the like best like original score I've ever heard of a movie. And I feel like that's a given, right? And another thing is like during the emotional scenes, right? Like during, some scenes that without the score seem stilted and awkward and like not that emotional with the weird delivery like I've talked about earlier. But the score, it brings in that emotion, right? Like you're supposed to feel triumphant. You're supposed to feel sad. You're supposed to feel angry. That score just amplifies it and makes you feel that emotion, right? It kind of puts it there where without it, it wouldn't normally be, right? And I just can't get over the awesome score, which is one of the best parts of the movie. Also, the lightsaber fights, which everybody knows, so I'm not even going to touch on that. So, yeah, very good. And with that being said, would I recommend it? Well, I mean, it's been 20 years, and if you haven't seen it already and you're a Star Wars fan, what are you doing? Right? Watch them. Do you need to watch episode 1 and 2? That's up to you, right? Those movies, I can't even really defend those movies. So if you want to watch those are up to you, right? Those ones are up to you. But this one, I would recommend highly. And with that being said, on an enjoyability scale, just on the way I enjoyed it, I would rate this film an 8.5 out of 10. And, yeah, I think I've said what I need to say. I think I've said my piece. So, guys, hope you like this video. Share with friends. Subscribe. Turn notifications on. Comment down below if you liked it. But you guys know how it goes. I didn't really mean to say that. What I really meant to say was if you guys hated this video, unsubscribe, dislike, hate me in the comments. And I've been Orange McG, off to bring balance to the Force. The Force pushed it. You didn't see me throw it. Shh. I used the Force to grab this. Oh, it's broken. I don't think it works. Oh. One thing I find kind of funny about this movie is that like the characters just kind of like say what they're feeling. There's like no subtlety, right? And that's kind of the charm of it. But like in the middle of like the final confrontation between Obi-Wan and Anakin, they were just blatantly saying how they feel just out loud. And I was just like, I just had this thing in my head. I know writers who use subtext and they're all cowards. That is the quote that was in my head the entire time.